Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Bray. So welcome back to the library. Yeah, at this point you guys should be done doing your quarterlies and you should be working on your research. I unfortunately am not able to be there today. I'm actually at a workshop outside of school today, but I wanted you guys to have this video because I didn't want it to mess up your timeline. So I'm going to go through and just show you that my little presentation today about filling in research holes. And what I mean by that is that you guys should mostly all be at the point now where you have like 95% of all your information. You have lots of articles, you've annotated them, you've read them, you've organized them, and you're ready to go. But maybe as you start typing your paper, maybe you're doing your introduction and you think, oh, you know what? I need one more little piece of background information. Or maybe you're doing your counterclaim and you're like, do you know what? I need one more quote to make this like really good to put this through. And that's what I'm going to show you guys today is how to do that effectively and also how to do that quickly. And I'm going to break this up into two little part videos just because the program I'm using limits me a little bit. But, we've already talked about the differences between databases and using Google. Now, you know that databases are a great place to start your research because they're super reliable, they're very academic, they're all trustworthy articles and sites that you can use. You guys have been using databases now for weeks and you're doing a great job at it. Um, we talked about how Google, we shouldn't start our research with that because it can be really unreliable and there can be all kinds of crazy stuff out there on the internet that's biased or unreliable or different things that you don't want to put in academic research. Um, However, the best part about Google is it's so easy to use and so quick. Like you guys know, it was a lot of work going through and digging through those databases and finding research. Google, though, is really super convenient. So you want to always start your research at good foundations with your databases, but then when it's time to fill in holes, it's okay to use Google, for one or two facts here and there. But I'm going to show you guys today, how to use Google super quickly and effectively. Because I love to use Google. I use it all the time. But we've all been in the spot where you've typed into Google and it's kicked you back 8 billion results and you go through them. First of all, you're not going through all 8 billion, but you go through the first couple and it's not what you want. You try changing the phrase again and it's still not what you want. So you try changing the phrase again, it's still not what you want. And then usually you give up and get frustrated or you yell at Siri and tell her she's being stupid or whatever it is. Um, that's what we want to avoid doing today because remember, you're just filling in little holes, so we want to do it quickly. I hope everybody appreciates my joke here. I showed this to Mr. Bray today. Google must be a woman because it knows everything, and he didn't think it was as funny as I did, but I certainly did. Um, but when you're looking at Google and how to use it effectively, you really have to think about what it is that you really want to search for. So let's just say that you are looking for the exact wording of the Second Amendment because maybe your topic is gun control. Because you're not going to go into Google and type in the words gun control. Typing that in is not going to kick you back exactly what you want. You want the exact words of the Second Amendment, so this is what we're going to search for. Some of the ways to do that too, and to limit what you get back from your results, are by using these things called operators, part of our advanced search tools. So, what operators are the language that Google speaks. Now, I know that sounds a little bit weird because obviously Google speaks English. You're typing into English and you're getting back your results in the English language. However, what this is the computer speak. The thing that lets Google know exactly what it is that you're looking for beyond just the words. So, just to take a look at example of some of the operators, first you have the quotation marks. Now, many of you have probably had experience using these quotation marks before because these are ones that search for exact phrases. So, for instance, if you type in the word cell phones in school, you might wind up getting ads for cell phones, words about jail cells, cells in your body, pay phones, phone bills, and so on and so forth. But that's not what you want. You want to know cell phones in school, so you would put that exact phrase in quotes, and that's going to limit what comes back to you and only show you ones that have those exact phrases in there. So this can be really helpful when you're researching. The next thing that you could use is this word cite with the colon after it, this dot over the dot. And what this does, it tells Google when you want to look for something on a specific site. So perhaps you're doing gun control and you want to know what the NRA, the National Rifle Association's exact stance is on gun control or gun show, and you want to look up exactly what they say, well, you're going to want to look at the NRA site. So when you're looking it up, you're going to put in site with the colon NRA.org. Now, another one that you might use, and you probably have never used before, but it's pretty handy, is this little squiggly line dash thingy right here. And I don't know if anybody knows what this is, but this is a good trivia. So if you ever get asked this one day in life, this little symbol is actually called a tilde, TILDE. And what this does is it says to Google that it looks for common synonyms of words. So maybe you are searching for school start times, and if you put this in the beginning of the word school, it's also going to give you the words university or college or daycare or that kind of thing too. Other things that you may want to look for besides just that one word. Now this one, oh, and I actually got auto-corrected to have 3 dots, which is an ellipse. What you want to do is do 2 dots in between something, and that's going to give you a timeline. So maybe you wanted to search something about, let's say, animals in zoos, but you wanted to know information only from, the last 5 years. You could put in 2014 dot dot and 2019 after it, and it's only going to kick you back information from that timeline. Now this one got cut off a little bit on the screen, but this one's probably one of the easiest ones to use because it makes a lot of sense logically. You put the minus sign, the little dash up there, and what that is what that shows you is that excludes words. So that means, like, let's just say that you keep looking up animal testing, but you keep getting medical testing, and that's not what you want. You only want to do cosmetic testing. You can type in animal testing cosmetics and then put in the minus sign and then put in the word medical. So anything that has to do with medical testing will now be taken out. Any of those results that have it they'll take that out of there, so it's a little bit easier to get through. Using these operators can really get you exactly what you want. And this is an extreme example, but I still want to show you guys. So this is an example that shows if you're searching for specifically, let's just say the New York Times articles about test scores in college, but not the SATs, written between 2008 and 2010. Now, I can use limiters to get this. Now, typically, you are not going to use every single operator that we have here, but it's something I just want to show for an example. So we know that we want New York Times articles. We're going to find those articles on NewYorkTimes.com. So I put in the word site with a colon. Notice there's no space in between colon in site or colon in New York Times, because in order to speak Google's language, you can't use spaces in there, or else they don't know, to only search for that. Now, the another thing that you wanted to do is search for test scores in colleges. But we put this little tilde here because maybe you also want the word university to come up. And it wouldn't normally show you the word university because you don't have the synonyms in there. So again, no space in between the symbol and the word that you're using to look for. Another thing that you may want to look for, that you may want to do, is use this quotation mark for the exact phrases. So what that means is if you type in the word test scores, you're going to get anything back from Google that has the word test in it. So it could be, a test of patience, a test of nerves. It could be a pregnancy test ad. It could be test scores from third graders, whatever. You don't want that. What you want is test scores. You don't want football scores. You don't want baseball scores or anything with the word scores. So since you want this exact phrase, test scores together, you're going to put them inside quotes. And again, no spaces in between where the quotes are in the word. Now, if you don't want SAT scores, because we said specifically up here, not the SATs, you're going to put a little minus sign here in front of the word SATs. So this way, any articles that are talking about SAT scores, boom, they get taken away and they're not going to be in your search results. And last but not least, we have our dot dot, our little timeline here. We wanted articles between 2008 and 2010. So I just went on here, I did 2008, again, no space, dot dot, no space, 2010, and now it's going to kick that back to me. Now, guys, again, this is an extreme example. You're not going to use all of these, but if you're noticing that when you're typing something in and you're putting a long phrase because you're trying to get more specific as to what you want, it's not coming up. You may want to try putting an exact phrase in quotation marks. Or maybe, things keep coming up over and over and over again that you don't want. You can try putting that minus sign to get rid of those, or, limit your dates. But these are all quick and easy ways that you can get Google to give you exactly what you want. Now, when you get kicked back your bazillion results that Google kicks back to you in like 0.002 seconds, we all know, first of all, that you're not going to go beyond the first page typically. However, when you're doing academic research, a lot of times that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to go past the first page, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 pages to find exactly what it is that you're looking for just for academic research. Another thing that you have to be careful of is reading the descriptions beforehand. Don't think just because you typed in a really awesome phrase that Google always gives you back exactly what you're looking for, because sometimes, you might read through the descriptions and realize, oh my gosh, this article isn't going to work for me at all. Now, sometimes you're going to have to go in and kind of browse around the site to make it look, exactly, or to see if it's exactly what it is that you want. But definitely be careful of clicking on ads. Guys, I don't know if many of you know this, but obviously people advertise on Google and they'll put the word ad in front of the blatant ads that are on there. So if you were looking for animal testing and cosmetics, well, the word cosmetics comes up and you're going to have L'Oreal and Estee Lauder and Clinique and Ulta and Sephora. You're going to start seeing ads for them at the very top because the word cosmetic came up and they paid Google to put an ad for them whenever the word cosmetic comes up. So it's easy to spot those ads at the very top. However, companies can also pay Google to push them up to the first search results. So you're looking for animal testing and cosmetics. Now you have to go through Sephora's website, Ulta's website, L'Oreal's website, Revlon's website, and so on and so forth. So that's why it's necessary, number one, to go past it. But number two, realize that even though they don't say ad for it, they did pay to get where that search result is. So you have to be a little bit leery when you're looking for that. Now, we're going to get into a minute in a little bit of how reliable this is. But what I want to do, because I know it's a little bit weird, I've been talking a lot, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to pause this here and I'm going to start my next video in a second.